Week 13 of the NFL season kicks off tonight, so it's time to make some picks today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Krabs from Locked On Dolphins. And we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'd like to thank you for making Locked On NFL Scouting your first listen every day, and a big welcome and shout out to our everydayers. You know who you are. Those of you who never miss a single episode, I appreciate y'all being here very, very much. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use code LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100.
Joe.
Kyle.
Happy shortest or lightest or leanest week of the regular season. I believe it doesn't get any worse than this. 6 teams on a bye in week 13. We are football deprived, it seems, because we have Thursday Night Football tonight. Then we have your standard amount of 1 o'clock games. Then you have 4 4 o'clock games. Once again, not disappointed. Grossly unbalanced slate of games.
But the 4 o'clock
and then San Francisco,
big one.
And then Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football. Yeah. And we are probably going to spend a lot of time talking about that San Francisco-Philadelphia game just because we don't have as many games to talk about.
It's a big one.
Understatement. Weird line. We'll talk about it when we get there. So
Weird
over FanDuel. The 6 teams that are on buys this week, just for bookkeeping purposes, the AFC's current number 1 seed, the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills, the Chicago Bears, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Minnesota Vikings, and the New York Giants.
Enjoy your week off.
Imagine having a week 13 bye. Imagine having a week 14 bye.
Yeah, there's buys next week. Yep. Yeah.
What a brutal stretch.
Yeah, I think there's some correlation though with late bye weeks and Super Bowl winners, so it's kind of a good thing. But like we're teetering on like really, really late.
Depends.
Yeah, it's
like are the Arizona Cardinals and Washington Commanders going to count their lucky stars that they get week 14 buys?
No, but for teams that have won the Super Bowl, the late season bye, there's a correlation there.
Like double-digit weeks, like week 10 later, probably.
Yes, like later buys are helpful. Yes.
Noted. Buffalo Bills week 13 bye.
They got to get the dance, my guy. They got to get to the dance.
I can. The one thing I will promise you about the Buffalo Bills, since we don't have to talk about the game this week, nobody is rooting for them other than the Buffalo Bills to make the playoffs because that team would be dangerous.
Yeah, could you imagine? Like that's your reward. Like you win your division and host a playoff game, and it's like here comes the Bills.
Right. It's like getting the Cowboys as the 5 seed.
Right. Bills got to get in there. Yeah, they got to get in. I've thought about this a lot, but I mean, they got to go at least 4-1, if not 5-0 down the stretch to do it. So,
speaking of the Cowboys,
yeah,
they're our Thursday night game. They are hosting the Seattle Seahawks in an obnoxiously large spread. Joe, Dallas on FanDuel is favored by 8.5 points at home against Seattle.
I mean, I'm picking Dallas, but Thursday. Well, I guess last week it kind of messed up the little thing I had going with taking Detroit. Thursday Night Football from you. But yeah, last week it was so chalky, except for then Detroit wound up losing. Dallas at home. And that's the pick here. They're playing good football. Up,
yeah, which you and I are.
Right.
We're picking the Cowboys. We think the Cowboys are going to win the game. Yeah. Now, I think there is something to be said about the season of desperation that Seattle is probably in. I think you probably get an inspired effort.
I don't know, man. Like I hear you on that, but like I don't want to strip it down to like the most simple form, but like don't sit here and just tell me that Seattle's going to try really hard and because of that they're going to win the game. Like Dallas also wants to win the game.
I don't think they're going to win the game, but I think they're going to cover the I think they I don't pick the spread, but I would pick Seattle plus 8.5.
If I had to, yes I would. Yes I would. Yeah.
Which is the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
Because I think the spread is too large, and the show agrees. The show has this as a much slimmer spread. than 8.5. So the show is on Seattle. If you're new to the Thursday programming in season, Joe and I pick the game straight up. The show, we do roster rankings and roster assessments, and we grade all the players. And there's methodology and numbers that are involved in there, and it spits out effectively a point spread that we cross-reference with what the actual spreads are, and then where the discrepancies are is where the show picks against the actual spread. For the record, if you feel like that's dumb, just know the show is hitting on 54% of games against the spread this season.
Making money. What was it, 12-3 last week?
12-4 last week, yeah.
Woo!
A big week. Second biggest week
Big.
of the year for the show.
Yeah. They feast.
You have to go back to their other month. Actually, that's a lie. It was tied for the best week. Week 3, they also went 12-4. Most weeks, it's 8-6, 7-6, 8-5, 7-7, 7-7, 8-6, 12-4 last week. Big hitter.
Yeah,
Big.
Especially like if you take it and you take the show and then take the ones that you really like. I wonder if you, that might be the right way to do it over at FanDuel, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
That'd probably be a good way to go about it with our friends over at FanDuel. But we're, I guess, going to shift into the 1 o'clock slate. Joe,
Yeah.
we got a little time.
Knock out one here. Yeah.
Chargers, Patriots. Zappy time.
Is that official? Did they name him the start of this week?
It's not as of us recording, but
yeah.
Zappy comes bouncing through the locker room with a big smile on his face. Mac Jones isn't talking to the media. The public, I've seen it. I think it was Jeff Howe reported that it was expected to be the case, but the Patriots themselves, and they won't confirm it.
Right.
We're like, oh, well, we're just going to play the best guy. Hope he can go out and execute, like that. That'll be Bill, but you're going to have to score points in this game. You would assume.
Fortunately, the Chargers are not very good at stopping points. Like one of the worst. They last bottom 3
is 20 points.
Yeah, but I think
MVP candidate Lamar Jackson only scored 20 points.
No, listen. In New England, right? Across the country trip for the Chargers.
Yep.
Like you want to talk about like situational football. I know that Belichick not necessarily been great of late. There's probably
the last 3 years of late.
Chargers. I'm picking the Chargers.
There's no way the Chargers let us down in this spot, right?
Careful. Chargers will let you down. They will.
Right. So what's the worst thing that could happen for New England, currently sitting in the 3rd spot in the draft order, would be to win this game with how the season's gone.
Go Patriots.
Go Patriots. I'm also picking the Chargers. I think even amidst their struggles, their offensive line has regressed. The Patriots pass rush group is young and it's banged up. Just don't trust the Patriots to score points, whether it's Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones. So the show is also on the Chargers. That line's sitting at 5.5. The show has it at 6. So
is J.C. Jackson going to play?
Oh, that's a fun storyline.
Fun.
Considering Tom Telesco comes out and like apologized to the team for adding J.C. Jackson to the roster.
All right. Speaking of fun, you got to check out Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the funnest, most exciting, easiest way to play daily fantasy sports. The format is awesome. It's just you versus the numbers. It's not you against thousands of other players, including pros and sharks. All you do is you select 2 or more players. You pick more or less on their projected stats, and you place your entry. That's it. Doesn't take long. Picks can be made in under a minute. And then when you win, the withdrawals are super, super quick. And I also love this about Prize Picks. You can mix it up between the sports. You like over-unders for football, or you want to work that together with a basketball situation or college sports. It's all there for you. It's super fun. So check it out. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use code LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, that's prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use code LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Pittsburgh hosting the Arizona Cardinals.
Super Bowl rematch. People forget about this one.
Bruce Arians Bowl, yeah. I'm Pittsburgh winning the game. What's Arizona's pathway to going on the road? Kyler Murray runs around like crazy, and Pittsburgh slow back seven can't handle it. You can avoid TJ Watt long enough to get the ball out.
Yeah, and I think Pittsburgh just not being good on offense matters. And obviously they had their 400 yards, which we hung a banner for that, but
It's my favorite thing of this season. Hang the banner. Just hang a banner. Anytime somebody gets excited about something dumb or tries to talk trash about, like, your team didn't do this against my team, say, okay, hang the banner.
Well, they scored 17 or 16 points. So yeah, I think
16 points, 400 yards though.
I think Pittsburgh wins at home, but Arizona's a team that is confusing to me all season long, where their output is very different on a weekly basis.
For all the talk about how scrappy this team is in the last 2 months, since October, they lost by 2 touchdowns. They lost by 17. They lost by 10 points. They lost to the Ravens by 7, although they backdoored the hell out of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm remembering that game correctly. Came back late. You're not affirming me quickly enough. Yeah, they scored 10 points in the final minute and 14 seconds of the game. So that was 31-15. So they were down 16 points in that game. They lost to the Browns 27-0. They beat Atlanta, hang the banner. You lost to the Texans by 5, okay, and you hung around. Then you lost to the Rams by 23. I think they are who we thought they were has kind of emerged from Arizona. It's sitting at 2-10. Pittsburgh. For the record, the show really likes Pittsburgh minus 5.5 at home. Like, really likes it. A lot of confidence in that one. Perhaps the most interesting AFC matchup of the weekend.
Yep.
Denver visiting Houston. The line over FanDuel currently Houston at home minus 3.5.
This will be a big one for tiebreakers. Big. And Denver's been piling up tiebreakers. So can they do it again? This is a fascinating game. This will be the one I'm going to watch at 1:00. Oh man. Okay. So here's what stands out to me. Denver, resurgent team, getting lots of takeaways, not beating themselves on offense. I saw a stat this morning, actually. Russell Wilson has the highest check down percentage in the entire NFL at over 32%. That's double number 2, Kyle.
Yep.
Double.
Yeah.
While he simultaneously has like the second highest average time to throw and the highest pressure rate. It's unbelievable.
That's why I think the narrative that Sean Payton has figured out how to play with Russell Wilson is actually pretty amusing to me, because it's just he's just
slow
checking
release
it down.
Running backs. He's just slow release running backs. He'll throw it to him.
Right. All that
Houston,
to say,
but listen, here's the deal. Houston's success to me is really about when they can run the ball well. I still don't think Denver's run defense is figured out. I really don't.
Joe Titus Howard's out for the year.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going with Houston at home. Because I think they'll be able to run the ball. But I think that Denver could get their turnovers. Like, I think they could certainly get them.
When you're hot, you're hot. I'm riding the hot hand.
Oh, baby. Oh, let's ride. Let's ride.
Broncos country. Let's ride. And I'm selfishly picking them because I don't want the narrative about the Dolphins not being able to beat a winning team to go away after 1 week. The Broncos sitting at 6-5.
Is that
I need them
thing?
to get that.
I forgot about that.
Joe,
well, you lost the Bills. They're down to 6-6.
Well, yeah, but it's like you just can't beat teams with winning records was the narrative for all that time. And now the Broncos have a winning record at 6-5. I want it to stay that way. Even though the narrative has now shifted, Dolphins haven't beaten anybody that's in a playoff position. It went from winning record to, they haven't beaten anybody that's in a playoff spot at this point. I think you outlined the game very well. The show likes Denver.
Me against everybody.
3.5. The show has Denver +2 versus the actual line is +3.5. So the show and I, Joe against the world. The Detroit Lions coming off a ugly loss.
Yeah.
On Thanksgiving. A little extra rest, playing the New Orleans Saints. In New Orleans, they are favored by 4.5 points. The show likes Detroit by 2 scores.
Bounce back week for the Lions. Extra rest against a Saints team that I don't trust. I'm concerned about the Lions defense, but Derek Carr and company might be exactly what they need. Lions.
Do you trust Derek Carr to capitalize on it?
Nope. Didn't Olave have a concussion as well on Sunday?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that would be a big loss.
So full sweep on Detroit, which takes us to, I think, is a interesting game based on the evolution of Tennessee's offense. But Tennessee is hosting the Colts. The Colts currently the AFC 7 seed. They are 6-5. They're also favored on FanDuel by 1.5 in this game.
I hate this matchup.
Like trying to determine who's going to win it?
Yeah, I do. Because, I mean, the team that has, I mean, the Colts are a playoff team right now. And they can score. But, like, division road game later in the season, high floor operation there under Mike Vrabel, high variance quarterback in Gardner Minshew. No Jonathan Taylor. Zach Moss has been really good as their lead back when he's had to do it, though. I'll tell you what I don't want to be as different than you on this game.
Keep going.
Well, it doesn't matter. I can switch. We can play cat and mouse all day long.
Here's what I find interesting about this game. They played already this season. The Colts won in Indianapolis by a touchdown, 23-16. Do you know the last time that Tennessee rushed for 100 yards in a game?
I don't.
November 2nd, Thursday Night Football. So it's been about a month. They rushed for 42 yards against Tampa Bay, 92 yards against Jacksonville, and 80 yards against Carolina. Indy, however, is offering quite the robust opportunities in the run game. Guess when the last time Indy did not allow 100 yards to an opponent?
I'm sure it's been a minute.
Week 6, Jacksonville rushed for 85. They went 150 against the Browns, 161 against the Saints, 138 against the Panthers, 167 against the Patriots, and 125 against the Bucks. I think the Titans can run the ball. They're at home. I think the Titans are going to win the game.
Titans. I'm rolling with the Titans as well.
The show disagrees with us. So it's the show against the world.
Okay.
Show has it at Indy about -3 versus 1.5. So we're Will Levis fans this week.
Always have been.
Always have been. That's true. The Atlanta Falcons, in a who the heck knows what's going to happen game, are visiting MetLife Stadium to play the New York Jets. FanDuel has the line at Atlanta -2.5. The show has it at Atlanta -3.5. So the show is on Atlanta to cover 2.5 point spread.
Tim Boyle playing quarterback for the Jets?
Probably.
Give me the Falcons. I think here's the deal with the Jets. I respect their defense, but the run defense isn't that good. Atlanta should be able to run the ball.
I agree.
Falcons
I'm also picking the Jets. I would not be surprised if the Jets won a dumb game with just how bipolar Atlanta's been all season, though.
Correct.
It'd be a catastrophic loss for them, but like I would not be surprised.
Right. Especially because we feel like the Saints are going to lose this week. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Go win this game.
Right. Go create a little separation for
right.
yourself.
Somebody act like you want to win the NFC South.
Please. I thought you were going to say take command of the NFC South, which would have been fitting because our last game in this block is the Commanders are hosting the Dolphins at 1:00.
Can the Commanders take command?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
You look at the matchup, and then I did like the prep for the crossover, and I did like the introduction to Washington, and you realize like nobody gives up more explosive plays defensively than Washington. Washington's given up 350 points this season. They're like dead last in league in points scored. They're like next to last in passing yards allowed. They're last in passing touchdowns allowed. It's just like a nightmare matchup for Washington. So I had Miami.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Finns as well.
Show has this about twice as big as the actual 9.5 point spread that it is currently listed at FanDuel. So show has big expectations for the Dolphins.
Kyle, you going to this game?
Yes.
Well, look, when you get home, you might not have a whole lot of time. You want to get
Mm.
something to eat.
Well
DoorDash, my guy. DoorDash, my guy. They will help you when you're busy. You got a lot going on. You're not sure when you're going to have time to get to the grocery store. Or you're going to have time to make dinner. DoorDash will bring you dinner right to your front door. They'll bring you groceries right to your front door. You can get food from your favorite local restaurants. I recently ordered food from my favorite Mexican restaurant, El Vallarta, the best tacos in town. And they also have macaroni and cheese that my daughter likes. And that's always very important when it comes to our dinner preparations around here. So check out DoorDash. They will make your life better with giving you more time, right? You don't have to worry about when you're going to make dinner or what's for dinner or when you're going to have time to get to the grocery store. They will bring it to you right to your front door. So got a deal for you here. Get 50% off up to a $10 value when you spend $15 or more on your first order. When you download the DoorDash app and enter code LOCKED23, subject to change, terms apply. Don't forget to use code LOCKED23 for 50% off up to a $10 value on your first order. When you download the DoorDash app and spend $15 or more, subject to change, terms apply. Folks, as the weather gets colder, the NFL offers stay hot on FanDuel. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use, and there's a ton of different things that you can bet on, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. And after the information that Kyle just shared about the Washington defense, I think I'm going to go to FanDuel and enjoy some overs on Miami Dolphins passing and receiving numbers. You can rest assured there we can win together. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Put me in an awkward spot now. I got as if I don't have enough mental well-being on the line.
Kyle, when you were talking about all that, all I could think about was the Chicago Bears and DJ Moore and just yards after catch and getting behind those Washington DBs.
40 points. 40 points.
But Ron Rivera calling the defense, maybe that'll be the big spark. I don't know. They just hired Jim Salgado to come over there and be a help. We'll see.
You can get to plus 325 passing yards at plus 270.
Yo, 325 is where they set it?
Well, it's alternate passing yards. So you can go 225, 250, 275, 300, 350. If you like them over 350, you can get that for plus 490.
The problem is they're going to play in the fourth quarter.
First half spread, Miami minus 6.5. First half total over under 24.5.
Will Washington do their part to get to the over there? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's going to be the issue.
Oh, here you go. You can go spread total points double dip. You could go Miami covering 9.5 and over 49.5 points in the game for plus 260. I might take that one. I do think Washington can score a little bit. Might be late, but I think they can score. They move the ball a little bit.
Couple later there. Yep.
Carolina, Tampa Bay. There's no first game fired coach bump.
We're gonna find out, dude. If Carolina wins this one, we will know. We will know.
And then it is real.
Right. Like
I'm absolutely out on it happening though.
But here's the thing, like Tampa Bay's no world beater. They're not playing good football at all right now.
Correct. I don't know. You get these big physical long corners in Tampa Bay.
Against receivers with no juice.
Receivers that can't separate at all.
You know, Bryce Young leads the NFL in throwaways. His I was in the data this morning. His throwaways over the last 4 games are like double the second guy. It's like 17 throwaways.
I believe I saw he has 3 games with 7+ throwaways this season. And there's like nobody else that has that many in a single game.
It was the most ridiculous discrepancy I've seen. It was right there with Russell Wilson check down percentage. Bucks.
Show has
the one game bump, man. I'm telling you.
Raiders got a 2-game bump.
Yeah.
Show is on Tampa minus 5.5. Likes him by about a touchdown. Which brings us to the game. San Francisco at Philadelphia. San Francisco is making a cross-country trip to play against a 10-1 Philadelphia Eagles team that we consider to be the best team in football. And the San Francisco 49ers are favored by 2.5 points.
Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit in the pre-show. Surprising that the Niners are favorites in this game. You mentioned the extra rest, right? That matters. But also, and I don't want to like say that I came up with this talking point because I stole it from Chris Long and Kyle Long in their podcast, where they were talking about this Eagles-Niners game, and the Eagles just played, I think the Bills had 95 offensive snaps and then 65 deep. I mean, they played a lot. They played like a ton of snaps, right? Going up against a big time physical matchup here.
Mm-hmm.
Philly at home's dangerous, right? They're 5-6-0 at home this year. And they find a way. They're a talented team that finds a way. And it just feels like they can turn it on when they have to. But I mean, San Francisco's got the goods as well. And Eagles defense is a little shaky, right? It's not perfect this year. They give up production, particularly like their second level of their linebackers, their coverage, their safeties, like not necessarily good in terms of sub coverage. Bradbury's had some issues this year. I think this is a great matchup that can stress each other in difficult ways. And Nick Bosa came out this week and said he was very confident. I'm not sure I'm any closer to deciding on this pick, but those are the things on my mind when I consider this game.
The show, for the record, is on Philadelphia. Getting 2.5.
Right.
Philadelphia is the best team in the league. We do like San Francisco. They're like a top 6 team for us from a roster perspective. But Philly at home, you obviously get some points there. So Vegas is telling us if these teams played in the neutral site, San Francisco would be favored by effectively a touchdown. So you get 3 points. It would be 5.5.
Yeah.
I'm not a math guy. I know that's not a touchdown, but like it's.
We need 6 to cover. So yeah, it is a touchdown.
The line's just talking to me a little bit. Makes me feel like they know something.
I mean, obviously Lane Johnson has to play. You can't have Jack Driscoll against Nick Bosa. We can't live in that world.
I agree. Maybe that'll be my stipulator.
Well, I think he's going to.
You know what? Doesn't matter. I'm picking San Francisco to win the game.
Woo!
The line is too egregiously set for there to not be some knowledge from Vegas that San Francisco. You could talk about motivation and you could talk about teams try hard every week, all you want. San Francisco talked all that talk all off season long. They should be ticked off about it. I'd like to think they come out and show it. Give me the 49ers.
Give me the Eagles at home. Well, this will be fun. The 2 most compelling games of the week we're different on. Houston and Denver, Philly and San Francisco.
This is going to be the week that you come back into a tie. And we're just
I know. I'm thankful to have the home team in both of those situations. But I 100% can, like, I went against Denver and that's been a mistake. And I've doubted San Francisco this year and that's been a mistake. So I'm not sitting here brimming with confidence.
Fun fact, 9 teams on the road won last week. Just letting you know.
I know you're a big law of averages guy. So,
all right, Cleveland visiting the LA Rams. LA Rams are favored by 3.5 points. The show likes the Rams favored by 3.5 points.
What is this game?
I don't think who plays quarterback. I don't think whether it's DTR or not matters.
No, that doesn't matter. Right.
I think the Rams can score enough points at home to win this game. I'm picking the Rams.
I'm going Rams too. I don't think they see this style of offense enough.
The Browns?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a little bit more wide open.
Yeah.
I think you'll naturally get to 20 points, and you trust Cleveland right now to score in that stratosphere consistently with the quarterback play? No.
Nope.
Okay. Chiefs favored by 6 on Sunday Night Football in Lambeau against the Green Bay Packers.
It's going to be a fun day, man. Denver, Houston into Philly, San Francisco into this game where the Chiefs are on the road, which makes it compelling to me. Mahomes, though, man. It's Mahomes on primetime against Jordan Love.
I'm not picking against Mahomes in primetime.
Right, I'm just not. Yeah, Chiefs.
I do think there's a
rest advantage for the Packers in this game, though.
Right. I think there's some interesting layers. I still think it would be a pretty large upset. The show would agree. The show is on Kansas City cover 6 points. But boy, I'm rooting for the Packers.
Oh, aren't we all? Aren't we all? You got a shot at the number 1 seed, my guy.
I'm rooting for the Packers.
The AFC going through hard. What is it? Hard knocks, hard life. What is it?
Hard rock.
Hard rock.
Yeah, hard rock.
Get it out there. So that special. I saw you tweet that special about the stadium construction. The Miami Heat.
Yeah, Dove Cliveman acting like it's never been reported before. It's been well documented for 7 years.
Here's the exception that I take with it. I don't take any exception that the Dolphins set up their stadium like that, right? Like, smart, you should do it. But the part that bothers me is, like, can we not acknowledge that it is a significant deal? Like, that's the one thing
it is a significant deal, but nobody made a big deal about it until Buffalo almost got gassed out.
I don't know. I've been talking about when Michigan State went down there to play Miami like 10 years ago. I've been talking about this for years.
And we faded Michigan State and said Miami's going to win. And
Michigan State gave us the double birds is what they did.
Oh, we're wearing dark greens in the sun.
Right.
Okay, watch this.
Right.
Kenneth Walker's going to run over everybody.
400 yards or whatever you rushed for that day. Like, what? This was not the script I had in mind.
Right.
But it is a big deal. And you should do it. Like, you should have inherent built-in advantages based on your region.
And I think the thing that is interesting is the stadium was built 20-something years ago. They only put the canopy on in 2016 as part of the renovations to get into the Super Bowl down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so before that, it was just like everyone's cooking.
Right. But then they put the canopy on, and the canopy's framed exactly over the field. It's not like there's anything special about it. It just so happens when the sun sets when they put the canopy on, and they did do it intentionally. Don't let them tell you otherwise.
If you're Tampa and Jacksonville, what are you doing? Get this thing on your stadium.
It's not like they were laying the foundation of the stadium 30 years ago saying, oh, wait until Steve Ross buys the team, puts the canopy on here for $500 million.
Listen, if you're not doing it, you're an idiot. That'd be the best free agent signing you could have. The canopy.
Right.
All right.
Anyway, our last game, Cincinnati, sans Joe Burrow, visiting Jacksonville.
Wouldn't this be more interesting if Joe Burrow was around? And
it would be the equivalent of San Francisco, Philadelphia.
Right, but it's not. So Jaguars and
Jaguars
sleep at halftime, right?
The show actually has Cincinnati covering 8.5.
Really? We even counting for no Burrow?
Yeah.
Wow.
Has it at the touchdown?
Jake Browning, bro. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know if he can. I don't think he's got the goods. But here, we've doubted these quarterbacks before, so I'm not going to go too hard.
Right. Now he's got some reps. Another week of game plan.
Monday Night Football. Pick 199, just like Tom Brady.
That's right. Yeah. There's a pathway to success with that pick.
Right. Correlation, causation.
Tomato. Yeah. We're done.
Takes on takes. Oh,
we didn't plug it until the very end of the show, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
But, Joe, maybe we can leave a comment on this video and pin it at the top to solicit takes. So we want all of your hot takes for tomorrow, because we will react to your hot takes on the show. Anything and everything that's on your mind, leave it. Comment on this video on YouTube. Let us know, and we will filter through them on tomorrow's Friday conclusion to this week of Locked On NFL Scouting. I'm Kyle Krabs. He's Joe Marino. Appreciate you guys checking out the show. Make it a great rest of your day. We're out of here.